All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Academic Ale House. I am Clayton, and we're going over the New Hampshire results. It seems like last night I called it pretty hard. It was also pretty obvious, but let's go through candidate by candidate, shall we? So Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was a shoo-in for this position. There was no way he wasn't going to win first. Vermont's too close. His home state's too close. Sanders be, however, Buttigieg being in second place after Iowa shows that that much of the Democratic Party, or at least the people that run with the Democratic Party, are very much behind him as a candidate. The fact that he's close enough that that with maybe a couple more votes could have overtaken Sanders should be a wake-up call to Bernie Sanders that beat Buttigieg is on his heels. Buttigieg going into South Carolina, uh, should probably consider either skipping it and just letting the dice fall where they may, or campaigning hard there, hoping to come away with second or third place, and moving on to Nevada. And pray that when Super Tuesday comes, he's got enough momentum going in that he can easily sweep a couple states and stay relevant. Amy Klobuchar. Amy Klobuchar needed this win, and she will need to win in South Carolina to stay in this position. It appears that a new top three, based on Iowa and based on Iowa and um, based on Iowa and New Hampshire, it appears that a new top three is emerging. Klobuchar was hot on Warren's heels in Iowa at the very beginning, but now she's overtaken her, and Warren has continued to fall in the polls, so she's not in a very good position. Klobuchar needs a win. She needs a win to maintain momentum. She will need second place or better in South Carolina, and she will need second place or better again to stay relevant. Elizabeth Warren was already on a downfall when when Iowa hit. The fact that she took fourth place there doesn't help her, or it makes her look very, very weak. Coming into New Hampshire, she needed this win. She didn't get it, and she got pushed out by another woman. I think the party has decided to walk away from Elizabeth Warren. I think the members of the party have decided to walk away from Elizabeth Warren. The leadership might not, but the party itself has decided to walk away from Elizabeth Warren. And Biden taking fifth. Now, Biden taking fifth is bad. It's very bad for the Biden campaign because Joe Biden has, once the Ukraine scandal and um, his multiple gaffes and creepy Uncle Joe and all that. Once that came to light, the illusion of inevitability was the only thing keeping him in sort of ahead. Now, thanks to Bernie Sanders' peak, Sanders has stolen that first place spot from Biden. And now, with Iowa, him not placing in the top three, and here, him not placing in the top three, means him and Warren, this applies to both, must come away with first and second in South Carolina and Nevada, and then pray that they have enough momentum going into Super Tuesday that they sweep any states Buttigieg might win and any states Klobuchar might win. Sanders will get enough states that he will remain in the top three to maintain this election cycle. Well, I don't think he'll drop out anytime soon. It's between these four as to whether or not who's going to stand on stage with Bernie Sanders. So, honestly, if Biden puts another performance in South Carolina like this, it's not going to be pretty. The same goes for Elizabeth Warren, who was already in decline. She is done, pretty much. I think at this point, if she doesn't come away with a win in South Carolina, if she doesn't come with top two in South Carolina, she either has to win South Carolina or she has to place second in South Carolina. She's done. She's out. There's no more room for Elizabeth Warren in the presidential election. So, let's talk about what matters to the DNC, which, according to the Iowa polls, was who could beat Trump. So let's go candidate by candidate on that. So Bernie Sanders. Do I think Bernie Sanders can beat Trump? No. He's too radical. He's a socialist, he's openly socialist, and most people don't want you to raise their taxes at all. Much less raise their taxes to the point where her taxing the rich, where, and he gets off on the whole tax the rich thing, but that's not how it's going to work. And I think Trump can jump on that and explain that in a way that everybody will understand. Plus, Trump has multiple wins in the White House with multiple ways of just crushing Sanders. Sanders has the charisma to beat Trump. I don't think he has the wherewithal, and age is going to play a factor here as well. Well, Bernie Sanders is old. Trump is old too, but Bernie Sanders is older. And that's going to play a factor, along with the fact that he's a radical leftist that most people are going to, most undecided voters are going to step away from. Buttigieg, straight up, doesn't have the charisma to beat Trump. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the star power necessary to beat Trump. Klobuchar, again, same problem with Buttigieg. She doesn't have the charisma or the star power, number one. Number two, she's relatively unknown. Pete Buttigieg has become known because he's gay and he's a Democrat and he's running for president. He's become known because the media has lavished attention on him. Amy Klobuchar doesn't have that benefit, and she has continuous and she is relatively anonymous. She doesn't have a unique platform, or she doesn't have a fan base that's fervently behind her like Gabbard did. So Amy Klobuchar, based upon name brand recognition alone, will not win against Trump. Warren is irrelevant. She's almost out of the election unless she pulls a miracle. Biden was never going to beat Trump. Biden, he gave Trump too much ammo. With all the gaffes and stuff, he gave Trump too much ammo. So yeah, that's the New Hampshire results. The Republican results we don't need to see. Trump won. Tulsi Gabbard getting votes at all is impressive to me, but I don't think she'll pull off some sort of miracle on 34th, some sort of like miracle to place any higher. This is probably where she will stay. Don't worry though, we'll see Tulsi Gabbard again. I am 100% certain of that. I think she's setting up to run again in 2024 when she doesn't have the threat of Trump wrecking her shit. When she doesn't have the threat of Trump and an incumbent White House to deal with. That being said, come join me in a couple hours. I will be streaming Mass Effect 2 on Twitch. The link will be in the description of this video. I have been Clayton. This has been the Academic Ale House, and thank you so much for joining me.